Hey YouTube, this is Dave, Iron Maiden fanboy. Come back from an album review about a band that's been getting a lot of recognition today because of their documentary. Considered pioneers, being praised by guys like Tom Araya from Slayer, Ulrich from Metallica, and Scott Ian as one of their biggest influences for the music that they're making today. And the band's Anvil Metal On Metal. And this is a special copy of Metal On Metal that I own because, if you can see right here, it has Lips, Raw Riders, and G5 signature on it. And I also have their signature on my Metal On Metal t-shirt, which I went to their concert and bought. And like in the movie, they came out and said hello to all of their fans, which is amazing. So this album, it's great. You think it gets overhyped, and you think it's like, oh, I'm not gonna buy an album because it looks really overhyped. Just capitalism, just to get them, just to be like, oh, they were in a movie, so we gotta buy their album. No, this album is amazing. It's as bit as good as it gets, but for metal. And there's 10 tracks on this album. Great. Yeah, it's phenomenal. First track, Metal on Metal. Metal on Metal is Metal on Metal. It's Anvil's calling card. It's basically like Kisses, rock and roll night, and party every day. It can be described that way because it's their most popular song and it's their most anthemic song of their catalog. That and School Up, which is another great song from their first album. And the next song is Mothra. Now, Mothra is a good song. It's one of my favorite songs from the whole Anvil catalog. It's one of my favorite heavy metal songs of all time. It's great construction. It's 5 minutes and 6 seconds long. It's just great. Every aspect of it works, even though there's some breakdowns, and it works. Phenomenal solo by Lips. Raw Driner on the drums. And this has been said before, but if you listen to the opening drum solo from Painkiller, it's really similar to the ending solo of Mothra, Rob's solo. So check that out. I found it weird. I don't know. Scott Travis might have copied it. Stop Me is the ballad on the album, and this, for a lot of people who like me like thrash metal and fast guitar riffing and stuff, you hear power ballad and you're like, oh no, this sucks. Well, this actually is a good power ballad. Stop Me is, I don't know how to describe it. It's just a good power ballad that sticks in your head and you want to listen to it again because there's so much going. You couldn't say so much going on. It's not like a progressive style, but it's so good to listen to it and then come back and then listen, and sometimes you find, and like the first few times you find something new, either on the guitar or Rob Reiner's drums, because Rob is phenomenal. Next track is March of the Crabs. March of the Crabs is epic. It's the epic 2 minute and 33-second song on the album. Yeah, it's phenomenal. March of the Crabs, great. It's an instrumental. It's fast. Rob's amazing on drums. Lips phenomenal on the guitar. You couldn't ask for more for an instrumental. They later recorded it in 97, I believe. And it was heavier. It was like drop tuned guitars and stuff. But just amazing. Jackhammer. If you Jackhammer is important because if you didn't hear the thrash metal influences in the last 4 songs, except for Stop Me, because Stop Me is a power ballad, you will hear it in Jackhammer. It's a lot of Metallica. You hear Metallica got influenced by this song because it's fast. It has the kind of like Mustaine. I want to say as complicated as Mustaine's work, but like the single note riffage that Mustaine has in this song, which is great. It works out great solo. Great drum intro. Yeah, drum intro by Rob. Uh, Hit Sync. Hit Sync was the first song you hear. This is not Hit Sync, but the song you heard before this is Hit Sync. And a lot of people, that's like, I counted that as Anvil's hidden gem on this album. Because a lot of people are gonna skip it, but Hit Sync is in a phenomenal song. It's very early thrash, new wave of British heavy metal style music, and great solo by Lips. Rob's drums are phenomenal on it. Tag Team. Tag Team is a slower song than all of them. It's not like a ballad, but it's kind of like a heavy song. And it's Tag Team and March of the Crafts actually made it to Brutal Legend, which I thought was phenomenal. But Tag Team is amazing. You're hearing it right now. And it's just a good song. Yeah. Great slow solo by Lips. Scenery. I didn't get to Scenery that much. I think it was because of the Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train riff stolen. Because you're gonna hear it. Like when the first second you hear it, you put on Scenery. That's what you hear. You're like, oh, Crazy Train. And it's an okay track. Never got into it. It doesn't make me want to listen to it again. Like I haven't only listened to third once, twice, three tops. Because when I always listen to this album, and I always go back to tracks like Mothra, Stop Me, March of the Crabs, Jackhammer, Hit Sync, and even Tag Team. And the last two songs that are on this album. And Metal On Metal, of course. Scenery is not that good of a track, so without this, the album, I feel like Scenery was more like a filler than an actual song. Tease Me, Please Me. Tease Me, Please Me has a lot of Motorhead influence. I think of it as that way. And it's phenomenal. It works great. It's a 4-minute 56-second song that works. Has sexual references, which kind of makes it into like going to the glam metal, a harder style that what's going on, but not really. It's fast, but not super fast. But it's a really good song. Like it's one of the highlights of the album, as the other songs. Because every song here is a highlight except for Scenery. And then the ending, it's phenomenal. You couldn't ask for a better ending. It's 666, and 666, it's the first thrash song. You hear Lips singing here, great. The bass is amazing, and you think like Rob Reiner is phenomenal on drums. It's crazy what he was doing back in '82, especially when you hit the second chorus of 66666. Rob Reiner does a drum fill that's phenomenal. It will blow your mind. Every time I listen to the song, it blows my mind. And it blows my mind even more that this was in '82. No one was doing this when when this came out. That's why it's so influential. Welcome to Hell by Venom. You didn't have drums like this. You didn't have drums like this in Killers by Iron Maiden, or you didn't have drums like this in 19 to the Nations by Diamond Head. It's just phenomenal. Great solo by Lips, and it's a great way to end the album. The CD, everything is just great, and it works out perfectly because each song keeps getting better than the next song, and then you come back, and this is one of the CDs that you come back and you find something new, which works out great. Like some tracks won't personally apply to you. You won't like the first time, but if you keep hearing it, it grows on you. Like Stop Me. I didn't like Stop Me when it first started, but I love it now. So I give this album a 9.5 out of 10, and the 0.5 taken off because this is truly a masterpiece. And the 5 is for Scenery. It didn't build on me as much as the other tracks, and I don't come back to it as often, not as often at all as I do to the other 9 tracks, especially 666, Mode Threat, and March of the Crabs, and Heat Sync. So 9.5, and this is a definitely buy.